Viewers, what a day. The visuals on your screens reinforce the unparalleled goodwill that India and Russia share. That goodwill is personified by the deep connect between Prime Minister Modi and President Putin. Modi surprised Putin with his, quote, unexpected, unquote, gesture of showing up in person at the airport to greet his, quote, dear friend, unquote. Viewers, the Russians are absolutely surprised by this rare gesture of warmth and friendship, and they have taken it to heart in a good way. The two leaders shared a warm hug, and you can see that very clearly, and a firm handshake. PM's gesture stands out even more when one considers that the summit is taking place despite US pressure on India to contribute to the Western effort to isolate Russia. But these pictures of India literally rolling out the red carpet for his friend Putin is a clear signal to Trump and other twitchy Western capitals that Delhi won't surrender its strategic autonomy. If Trump is watching, Trump is unlikely to be pleased. But viewers, his feelings don't really matter. And this is quite clear. He's seeing each of his red lines being breached or redrawn. What was Trump hoping? Trump was hoping that India would no longer trade with Russia, specifically energy, because this would be seen as indirectly supporting Russia's war. What is another Trump red line? That India is continuing to source Russian military hardware or arms is a red flag. Engaging Russia defeats US strategy of working to diplomatically isolate Russia, specifically when the US is forcing some kind of détente between Russia and Ukraine. Russia-India bonhomie assertion of non-West viewed as a challenge to US hegemony. And India's continued reluctance to criticize Russia's aggression in Ukraine a source of annoyance. For decades, Western capitals have viewed Eastern nations not as equal partners, but as resources to be tapped, shaped, or co-opted. Japan's post-war recovery was micromanaged by Washington. China's entry into the global trading system was encouraged only as long as it served Western supply chains and cost structures. During the 1997 Asian financial crisis, Western institutions prescribed harsh reforms while ignoring the volatility created by their own capital flows. The West's approach is paternalistic, some would say, viewers. At least that's the view from India. The East may rise, but only if it doesn't exceed the West. Clearly, India and Russia aren't about to accept limits. One is a rising power, the other an established one, yet both have watched their strategic priorities dismissed or downgraded in Western conversations. Modi in particular has been firm in rejecting Western paternalism. Yet careful not to sound anti-West, Modi has defined India as simply non-West. In doing so, he is hoping that the West understands, that DC in particular understands that Delhi will set its own national priorities. It will decide who it partners with, and it will choose its economic and strategic engagements on its own terms, but never against anyone. So far, friends, so far, New Delhi's optimism has been blunted by Trump. Why, viewers? Because Trump thinks he can bully New Delhi and Modi and a billion Indians into a corner. He's forgotten, viewers, that India is the pivot to the Indo-Pacific. Nothing can happen. No power projection if you don't have, or India doesn't have, to be more precise, your back. Let's open this conversation up because this is an important global moment, viewers.